Okay, time for a speedy speed boy on the debate. I have to leave in probably less than 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to wrap this up before that happens. And because I'm going to Virginia for a convention, come to the Tank Museum, the American Armed Forces Tank Museum in Danville, Virginia. Come say hi. Buy our books and posters and tanks and stuff. It's not political, so it's just for it's fun. I have political people, my partner, my artist, everybody works on it. They all have different opinions about different things, and I don't care because I just want to make a good book that's fun and not, it's a little patriotic, but there's no politics involved. It's a future thing. It's not it's not like, oh, Orange Man and all this other stuff, or here's the here's the Ronald Reagan superhero comic. It's nothing like that. Anyway, I normally do night of initial reactions and then an analysis the next day. Couldn't do it last night. Too tired. Worked for 12 hours. And was in no condition to be appearing in front of camera. This morning, I tried to catch up a little bit on some of the stuff. I did watch the debate, obviously, but I don't have a lot of time to sit and put all my thoughts out. Let me think here. Let's do 5 things as quick as I can. 1, moderator. Moderator did a pretty okay job. There was times where she absolutely shined, where she let them hash it out. She was very fair. She was very clean. Her questions were pretty good. I mean, not everything I would have asked, but it was pretty damn good. Significantly better than Chris Wallace for one thing, but significantly better than even the vice presidential debate. She was good. She actually talked about the laptop stuff. I didn't expect that. I thought that was going to be buried. Could she have been more direct with it? Sure, but a lot of people also don't understand the story. And Biden's response is just no. Trump did business in China once. He had a Chinese bank account that was a secret. And it's like, well, it's a secret to look in the bank account, but it was never a secret to look that it existed at one point, because he had one from like 2013 to 2015 because he was possibly going to be building in China. Really silly. So Biden was just deflecting really hard with that stuff, but the moderator did good. Second thing, let's get into the corruption stuff. Trump hit Biden on the laptop stuff, and he actually wasn't as effective, I don't think, as he could have been. But it didn't matter because the rest of Trump's performance was conventional, calm. He didn't need the Biden laptop scandal as a crutch. He just threw it in there. It's just like, just a reminder. And it was a really good counterattack when Biden was like preemptively trying to say like, oh, Trump, where's your tax returns? And Trump's like, well, where's your money coming from, Joe? So that was good. Tony Bobulinski was invited as the president's guest. He also came out earlier, and he basically said, the Bidens are on the take. He pretty much confirmed everything that was going on. Joe Biden still wants you to wear a mask because apparently he thinks that's effective. I guess I should say I'll move on to the next topic. So we got Bobulinski. We've got the debate moderator. Let's say gaffes. There was 2 or 3 major gaffes that Biden had. One was the oil one that everybody's talking about. Basically, he said he's going to end the use of fossil fuels. And then the year he had floated before was like 2030. So that's insane. That's really going to hurt him in PA. And we're going to turn Texas blue. It's like, no, because now every oil and natural gas worker in Texas is going to come out and vote for Trump to spite Biden. So I don't, I'm sure the Democrats were super confident about Texas down there, but it's gone now at this point. Second gaffe was basically Trump pinned him on the crime bill. Trump pinned him on his votes for the in the 80s for the drug war, and then Biden made this huge mistake of saying, we all voted for it in the 80s, which he shouldn't have brought that up, because then that just reminds people how old he is. And it was a mistake, and I've been trying to fix it ever since. And then Trump's just like, we need to fix it ever since. You exacerbated it with the 94 crime bill. What the hell are you talking about? And then when Biden was trying to talk about the systemic racism and all this other stuff, Trump's like, you've been in the system. You had 8 years as VP, not to mention how long you've been a senator and been in the system. He's been here for 3 years. You criticize the system all you want. Trump is not the system. Trump turned that around. He was fantastic. That's one. There was another gaffe. I'm trying to remember what. He called Trump Abraham Lincoln. That was. I think he had a rehearsed response to talk to Trump, saying because Trump had said before, like nobody's done more for Black Americans since Abraham Lincoln than he has. And I think Biden either got confused or he had a rehearsed response thinking Trump would call himself like Abraham Lincoln or something. Trump never said that. And he didn't say it here. And then Biden was like, oh, Abraham Lincoln, here's the most racist president we've ever had. And even if he meant to say Trump, like, it's still like, wait a minute, you're talking Woodrow Wilson and like other people? Like, that's silly. Trump's not, like it didn't hold water, and it just ended up being, it ended up being a really awkward moment. The moderator, well, the oil question, why would you do that? And the way she was asking it, it didn't sound like so much of like, why would you eliminate all fossil fuels, but it was a, why would you say that out loud? like why did you say, why did you, like, Trump just baited him just a little bit, and then he just walked right into the trap to the point where Biden had to be like, or to say Trump had to tell Biden, can you repeat that? Did you just say what we thought you said? Yes. That was Biden's response. That was pretty funny. If Biden wasn't always so dishonest, I would praise him for his honesty. But it's like, I don't know what he believes, because he's pandering to the far left. He whatever gets him paid, that seems to be whatever he pushes for. Whether it's paid in campaign funds, or it's paid in luxury or clout, or in Russia, China, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and all these other places he was doing deals. It was just basically money laundering to the VP through his son. For influence, for access to the White House. That was something I was surprised Trump didn't bring up, was that. Let's see. Is there anything else really to touch on? I guess aftermath-wise, I knew the Democrats lost because they were having really meltdowns on social media about it. They were making lots of excuses. Williams started off by saying, well, Melania Trump had a mask on there. I guess the administration's changed their... since the last debate, it's changed their stance on masks or something. It's like, wow, that's the best. That's the best you got. Donna Brazile is freaking out. Donna Brazile shouldn't be anywhere near a Fox News panel, period. Or any debate panel, because she leaked questions to Hillary Clinton in 2016. She should be disqualified from. She probably should be disqualified from acting in any type of anchor or journalistic capacity, because that's just dirty, right? She is having a meltdown. She was getting super serious and telling her stories and waving the finger. And she looked like a complete jackass, and it was funny. Chris Wallace, he had this like look on his face like he just got completely embarrassed by someone who was even more partisan than he was, did a better job by far. And he said he wished, I wish I had the mute button. It's like, no, Chris, you were the mute button. You talked over the president constantly, and you didn't let them banter back and forth. You bailed out Biden every time he got off track. Like, Chris, that debate being as frustrating as it was your fault. It wasn't just the Trump president being, like, not able to be muted. Definitely the 2 minutes of going uninterrupted Trump, uninterrupted Biden, and vice versa, back and forth. That worked exactly how they said it was going to work, which was fantastic. I thought they were full of crap. I thought they were going to abuse it. And I was in full agreement with Sticks, Hexenhammer, saying, like, this could be really good. This is actually helpful for the president if they play by the rules they're actually stating. And it turns out Sticks was correct, and I wish I'd made a video saying that, because I was correct as well. My trust going in was that it wouldn't be done that way. If I had to bet, I was like, there's no way they're going to stick to that. I was wrong. Props on Debate Commission for actually doing what they said for a change. Said they were going to do for a change. This wasn't bad. I think the Debate Commission was kind of worried that, like, if they have another shit show, then people are just going to be like, yeah, why does the Debate Commission exist? Or, this here was the play to stop Trump from appearing on Joe Rogan, to either do damage control or to be bombastic. I still think Trump should go on, but that's what this was. This was basically, no, we can actually run a decent debate. Please don't replace this alt media, alt tech, or whatever it is. Not a big deal. That should be everything I was to really cover in the short term. Yeah, there's specifics. I mean, go ahead, comment below. Let me know what you thought, what things you wanted me to commentary on. Hey, Biden didn't bring up he did say the whole Russian. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? I will leave you with one last absolute gaffe from Trump, from Biden. Trump said, basically, so what you mean is this real laptop and these real emails that all exist are another Russia hoax. That's what we're being told. And that was the point. That's like Trump was like, yeah, of course, people who are like ex-analysts and partisans all come out. Like you can get 50 people to say, to say almost anything, if they're Democrats, like you can. They're It doesn't matter if what the people outside the intelligence agencies say. I mean, it does in sense of like, if I'm seeing this, I'm like, okay, this story, this has all the hallmarks of disinformation, and then I say that doesn't mean it's not true, but it is something to look out for. I still am not the authority on it as much as the person who's actually actively in the intelligence agency. I can give you my analysis, but what that doesn't do is saying that, oh, this looks like Russian disinformation. It's like, no, but Joe, it's so much worse for you than we expected. The only excuse you can go for is it being Russian disinformation. And Trump called him out on it, and then Biden was like, yeah, it's another Russian hoax. Basically, it was like unforced error, and Trump's just like, all right, well, I guess the conversation's over. You're just going to pretend that that's Russian disinformation, but he's going to put it on his site. I'm sure he's going to beat him to death with it. So, yeah, man. I'm never going to ban fracking. Oh, show the video. Well, immediately the video was tweeted out, and it's going to be all over his website. And Biden's going to be eating that in attack ads and just web ads, just people talking about it. Even I think it was a CNN's fact checker. Yeah, it had to be because he was talking to Anderson Cooper. Was like, CNN's fact checkers are not exactly like friendly to the president. They usually spin stuff, but the CNN fact checker, probably because he's a leftist himself, was like, oh no, Joe definitely did say he wanted to ban fracking, and now he's saying he's not. Like, there's no Trump's correct on this. Like, Joe is completely full of crap as to what his stance is, because nobody actually really knows. Because he campaigns in the primary on ending fracking and fossil fuel use, and then in this he's a moderate, and then he goes out of his way to say, okay, we're going to end the use of oil. Like, he was all over the damn place. So Biden didn't make the far left, and the soft Biden people, to say soft left, didn't make them happy, which is what he needed to do for this birth debate to be worth anything for him. In fact, he declined himself. Trump, he helped himself with soft Biden supporters because, again, Biden looked like an asshole and Trump looked actually kind of okay. So maybe they'll stay home instead of actually voting for Biden. With undecided independents, Trump absolutely dominated. With soft Trump voters, who like the kind that may not be going to the polls, he just shored them up. This debate here is basically going to be important for late breaking undecideds in swing states, and also soft Bidens because they don't like Trump, but they're like, oh, Biden's got to be better. You watch a debate like this and you go, wow, Biden's actually worse. Or if you're completely, disillusioned, you say, well, both of them are terrible, and then you just don't vote, or you vote for like Jorgensen or something, who's in some ways worse than both of them in a lot of ways. And I'm coming at from a libertarian perspective too. Full disclosure, I'm not a real libertarian. I haven't registered with the Libertarian Party. No, I registered with the Republican Party because the Republican Party was most likely to have a candidate in the primary I liked most. And the Libertarian Party, it was pretty much all just pot legalization and just degeneracy. I don't like the Libertarian Party is all the libertarian ideals are great. The problem is their party structure is not very good. Which, fiercely independent people not running a tight ship in an independent political party, that's not a huge surprise. In fact, I'm really glad that the Republican Party has made the shift towards libertarianism that it has. That has made me more comfortable as a Republican than I would be otherwise. I don't like the neocon types. I don't like the super religious right types. That's not my bag. Definitely economic right if you consider capitalist, hardcore capitalist. But I'm not. There was a point where it looked like I was going to either go independent or just do a new party or do libertarian or something, just because the GOP was getting bad, and they have fixed themselves. I think the Democrats, if they lose this election, they really should probably either completely reform, or if you're the far left and you want to have any chance of actually winning something, they should probably split off and form their own party. Because I think the Democrat Party's probably, at least as it was, is probably dead after this election if they don't win. And the more I see early voting and stuff like that, and the numbers coming in, it's looking like they're kind of screwed. Biden's doing worse than Hillary was at this point, and Trump has more supporters than he's ever had before. Trump didn't lose supporters over his last 4 years. He only gained them. So unless and the idea of Biden having more supporters than Hillary is laughable. And it's going to be a question of basically, are there enough people with Trump derangement syndrome to come out and offset basically Trump's gains over the last 4 years? Who didn't vote last time? I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be a number. But I don't think it's going to be able to surmount the president. Could be wrong. There's voter fraud. There's a lot of things going on. But that's my takeaway. This debate, it helped Trump. It helped Trump 100%. And hey, I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to. This is statesman Trump. This is conventional Trump. Conventional Trump beats conventional Biden. Bombastic Trump beats bombastic Biden. And, even Trump's gaffes are much more fun than watching Biden's, where you just feel like, oh, God, like he's got dementia and this is weird. Yeah, so that's one of the good things about Trump is that Trump really can work the camera really well because he was on TV. He owned it. He knew when to look at the moderator. He knew when to look at the screen. He knew when to look at Joe. He absolutely owned that. Biden had two stages. He had to look at the camera and talk like this, like some sort of weird SNL skit, and then he had stare down at the notes and kind of look like glass-eyed out into the distance. Like who's he? Like I guess he's looking at the audience, but Trump would basically look to the moderator in a way of I am answering the moderator's question, and then he would temporarily kind of do the look around, like everybody here, and then he would transition to looking at the camera because he's talking to the people at home. Trump much better, much better at this than Biden is, and it showed. And I think they're going to take this. If this debate is any sense of what's actually happening politically, Trump's going to run away with it. I hope it's a landslide. Pennsylvania is going to be weird because they're going to be counting votes for like a week and so probably after they get them. So Pennsylvania might be up in the air, but if Trump clinches North Carolina, Michigan, he snipes Minnesota, and obviously Florida comes in, then Pennsylvania's out of the it's not needed. The reason why it got called as early as it did for Trump in 2016 was because out of nowhere he took Pennsylvania. That was the nail in the coffin. That was the okay, we're not going to be here till 5 a.m. with the results. We know now Trump has won this basically. This time around, I'm hoping there's enough of an overwhelming lead for Trump in these other battlegrounds that aren't doing as shady stuff that Pennsylvania is not even a factor. I live in Pennsylvania. I mean, then again, he also could be winning by such an overwhelming number in Pennsylvania that outlets call it. That would be great. So let's hope the next 2 weeks are good. I am seeing a lot of social media meltdowns from the left, but that's good because that means they're losing. They're kind of losing it, and I think they realize the energy for Biden is just not there, and the energy for Trump is more powerful than it's ever been. Which again, it's shocking, and I think honestly, as much as the TDS people hate Trump, I think there's probably, if not equal, an almost equal number of people who actually love Trump to the same degree that they hate him. And for me, somebody who was completely distrustful. I did not like Trump. I did not like his style. I didn't like the way he talked. I didn't like any of these things. I thought he was a meme lord. I thought he was memeable. He was kind of funny. But I didn't like him going in 2016, and I kind of gave him a soft vote because I was like, all right, I like your judges list. Going into this year, 2020, I really like the guy. I genuinely like this president, which is not something a lot of people could have said in 2016 about Donald Trump, who are on the right or in the middle. They say they genuinely like him. As for the amount of more people who hate him than before, it might be more to a degree, but I don't know. I don't think those numbers are going to actually pan out the way they may think they are. Again, could be fraud, could be wrong, but that's it, guys. I probably talked too long about this anyway, but I figured you might want to hear what I have to say about the debate.